The storm door was locked, but I knew that it would not withstand any serious attempt to open it. So I slammed the door shut, flicked the deadbolt, and ran for the garage. As I went through the kitchen, I heard the storm door being torn open. As the door to the garage fell shut behind me, I heard the first heavy kick against the front door. The garage door opened to the rear of the house, and I was praying that whoever was at the front door had not planned for me to run. The Ford Escort that I was jumping into was not exactly built for a high-speed getaway. The garage door lifted so slowly that I was sure that I was about to be trapped, but to my surprise, there was no one waiting for me as I gunned the car out of the garage and down the alley away from the house. A phone started ringing and startled me to the point that I almost drove straight into a tree on the edge of the road. I had bolted from the house so fast that I had left my phone behind. The ringing was coming from the glove box. I retrieved the phone and answered it. 1300 Church Street. Then the line went dead. I was scared, confused, and curious. Turn left on Market Street in 1/2 mile, the phone dictated. I jumped, screamed a little, and dropped the phone onto the floor at my feet. I once again retrieved the phone and saw that the navigation was taking me to 1300 Church Street. After several turns, I made a final turn onto Church Street, aptly named, as there were at least 7 churches that I could see from where I sat. The voice on the phone informed me that I had arrived at my destination. There, on the right, was an old church building, clearly the oldest building on this street. I put the car in park and looked around for some clues as to what I should do next. Every fiber of my being was on high alert as I walked towards the door of the church. I know that churches are supposed to be places of peace and tranquility, but this place was creepy. The trees looked ominous with the sun setting behind them. The stained glass windows depicted various scenes of war between demons and angels. There was a large, old cemetery that occupied all of the open space on one side of the back of the church. Just as I reached the door, a figure stepped out of the shadows. "I wasn't sure that you would come," he said, and smiled broadly. I recognized the voice from the phone. As he stepped into the light, I realized that he was much older than he appeared, but moved very fluidly. His hair and beard were well kept, but completely white. There were deep creases in his face that were evidence of many years of laughter. He wore jeans and a plain black long-sleeved t-shirt. It was strange how calm and carefree he seemed, assuming he had any clue what was going on at my house a mere 30 minutes ago. He reached out his hand and introduced himself. "I am number 12. The hand that gripped mine was powerful. I shook his hand. I started to introduce myself, but he stopped me by saying, "I know who you are." I followed number 12 down a narrow path to the back of the church where a small cottage sat at 100 yards deep into the cemetery. It was fully dark when we reached the door, and he pushed it aside and led me into the small, cozy room. The cottage was just one room as far as I could tell. There was a couch and a small table covered in old books and scrolls to the right, a wood stove to the left with several days' supply of wood stacked along the wall, and a small pallet bed in one corner. In the remaining corner, a toilet and a tub were partially obscured by a makeshift curtain. He closed the door behind me, then turned to face me and smiled. "Welcome to our home," he said. What was I doing here? He pointed to the pallet bed and then the couch. "Pick one and get some sleep. I will come and get you when it's time." Then he turned and walked to the center of the room. He bent down, grabbed a small handle that I had not seen when I scanned the room, lifted a small trapdoor, and disappeared beneath the floor, closing the trapdoor behind him. I was not sure what to do next. If you would like to go to sleep on the pallet bed, go to episode 4. If you would like to go to sleep on the couch, go to episode 6. And if you would like to follow the man down the trapdoor, go to episode 5.